Here's the rear Wilwood big brake kit for the Ram 1500s. Alright, I got everything laid out. This is going to be a quick video, I promise. I just want to show you the first video when I did the fronts. Everything's basically the same except for the hats and the rear. I want to show you these real quick. We have e-brakes, and this is the drum for the e-brake right here. So the hat looks normal for the front, and it's a little deep dish for the rear emergency brake pads. Other than that, everything's the same. Same beautiful calipers. Alright, and pop this wheel off and start dismantling the rear calipers. Alright, so the rears are going to be a little different. I mean, this is the same, you know, it's a caliper. You pop it off, rotor comes off easy. But the brake line, the hard line, right here, we got to cut that. I know it's scary to say and scary to do, but it's really easy. It's just going to be really messy because we're going to have fluid dripping out. After we cut it, we're going to slip this on the proper way, because if you don't put this on right, or you forget to put it on after you flare it, you have to do it again. So this is gonna go on, then I'll flare it, and this is a 3/8 nut. Will adapt to the stainless steel brake lines that come with the kit. And all you gotta do is go to AutoZone. You can buy it or rent it. It's 30 bucks. And I'm doing a double flare, so the adapter, then that, you know, pretty simple. And then we'll connect the line. All right, gonna remove the ABS line from the soft line. ABS line is disconnected. Gonna remove the caliper bolts. 21 mil. Hiya! Here we go. Told you it's gonna be a quick video. Caliper's off. We have to loosen the e-brake drum discs. There's a little dial in the back. I have my caliper resting on the sway bar just to get it out of the way. All right, so in the back, it's a little rubber boot. This is the passenger side, so it's in the bottom. And it's on the top on the driver's side. Take that little rubber door off. And inside that little door, it is a wheel, the tooth wheel. You want to get a flathead screwdriver and you got to rotate that. Just kind of use the opening on the dust shield as a pivot point. You want to rotate that wheel up on the passenger side as I hack the hole. It'll start getting loose and more loose, and eventually it'll just slide off. 2 hands, and you might have to do a little wiggling, but it will come off. Reminds me of the e-brake installation I did. That sucked. I'm surprised the pads aren't crackled. And if you take this off and your pads are cracked, you're gonna have to do an e-brake kit. I have a video as well. I'll stick that in this video. Now to disconnect the caliper and flare that brake line right there. I'm going to cut the hard line, the 3/16 hard line. Take your pick for a little baby cutter. I'll stick this on and stop rotating. All right, got a cut. You're gonna have to scrape some of the coating off to get the fitting to go on. And once we're all done later on, I'll just squirt that with some black paint. And I got a vise tool, 3/16. Stick the tube through there, tighten these up, have the tube come out about 1/8 inch. We're doing a double flare, so we're gonna use the 3/16 adapter, put that in the hole, and then grab the flare tool, put it around the vise. You're gonna turn and push that adapter flat, take it out, and then use this to double flare it. All right, that's smushed. Double flare complete. Yeah, I could have done the caliper first. That would have been in the way. They have this little nylon cap that came with the adapters. It goes on nice and tight. And that'll slow down the drip while I'm working on the caliper. I said slow it down, not stop it. Right, time to assemble the hat to the rotor. And flip this. Is the rear rotor. The indented part goes up. So the hat will mount to the flush side of the flange. Then we're going to install these 12-point bolts. And don't forget to do 271 Loctite. And we're going to torque those bolts to 25 foot-pounds of torque. Right now, to install the caliper bracket, indentation goes to the other side of the truck like that. We're gonna have to trim the dust cover again on this, just like we did in the front. So I'm gonna line up these holes. I'm gonna make a mark on the top and bottom and snip them off. Dust cover is cut. The bracket can now mount without hitting that dust cover. Install the supply bolts, washer, put it through the hole, and add 2 shims per bolt. and then mount this on. We're just snugging these on for now because we got to take them back off. May have to shim, may have to take some shims out. We also have to use Loctite. Now I'm going to mount the rotor with the assembled hat, and then the caliper. Shim, 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 and all right. Here's the assembled rotor. I did clean around this again, like in the first video. It was all rust and nastiness. Little sand drum disc on the Dremel. Beauteous. Temporarily add 2 lug nuts to hold the rotor in place. Pretty snug, so you don't want it to move. I'm gonna apply some lightweight oil on these studs, then slip the caliper on. Check for clearance. Make sure we're centered with the rotor. You hear me? Got 1 shim on those studs, top and bottom. I'm gonna slide the caliper, this beautiful piece of equipment. These are left and right. This goes on the right. The bigger piston goes to the front of the truck. All right, it's on there. It's beautiful. Now I'm gonna check for clearance between the caliper and the rotor on both sides. And shim is necessary. I have my distance the same on both sides. Like so. I have 3 shims each in between the mounting surface and the caliper bracket. I gotta back those out, Loctite them, and torque these to 60 foot-pounds of torque. The caliper bracket is on, torque to 60 foot-pounds of torque, 3 shims in the middle. I'm gonna take the caliper for the 8th time, slip it back on, drop the pads in, and make sure my pads are very, very close to flush on the top of the rotor. Bridge pin retaining clips come out. That bridge pin comes right out, and you just slip those pads right in. How awesome is that? How awesome is that? I gotta replace my pads, clip, pin, pad, done, boom. Slip that bridge pin right in. All right, I already have 1 shim on those studs, and I am a CCCH down, which is perfect. Because this is a micro beveled edge on the rotor. Slight micro bevel. So we are good. I am good with 1 shim on those studs, and I can now install the retaining clips, make sure it screws freely. It does. Good to go. Nuts and washers are on, 15 mil. Torque to 30 foot-pounds, 12-point sockets. That's done. Now to install the stainless steel braided brake line. Little Teflon tape on an adapter. Tighten that up. Stainless steel braided brake line is on, tight here. And I tightened it to the hard line. I utilized that wire mount. I kind of bent it a few times to get it where I wanted it without putting pressure on the line, and then re-bent it around the line. It's holding nice. That is it for the passenger side installation. Pads are in, everything is torqued up. I'm going to do the other side. It's the same as this, so I won't record it. Slap the wheels on and go bed the brakes. After I'm done bedding, I'll check the brake lines for leaks, let it cool down, and I'm good to go. Gotta adjust the emergency drum pads. I'll spin this just until they barely touch. We don't want them dragging. I'm also gonna zip line this ABS line back to the braided brake line. All right, both sides are complete. You got the ABS wire attached to the stainless steel brake line. Everything's tight. We just bled the brakes. No leaks so far. Here's the driver's side. Painted the brake line so it doesn't rust. I'm gonna mount the wheels and go bed the brakes. Let it cool down, that's it. Brake bedding the rears, and paint's off, just cooling down. The front.
Cruising down the highway, windows down low. Sunset paints the sky in a fiery glow. Mountains rise up, touching clouds above. Valleys below, filled with whispers of love. On this road, every seed's a delight. From sunrise to starlight, day to night. Nature's canvas.
All right, real quick, the stock rear rotor and caliper pads in line, 34.6. Minus the 46.8 of the Wilwoods is 12 pounds plus or minus, so they're a little heavier for the back, just because this caliper is just so tiny in the back. Now we got giant calipers and a giant rotor. The front is about a 4-pound difference, and the back is about 12 pounds. All right, there you go. Wilwood big brake kit for the Ram 1500. Install complete. Hope you liked the video. Hopefully it helps somebody out that is installing these. These are really good brakes, man. The thing stop. It's just a totally different truck now. Stops on a dime. Responsiveness is just absolutely, it's crazy. It's gonna be even better when the rears cool down, and now I have all 4. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I don't know what's next, but we'll figure something out. Peace.